Outstanding work. Outstanding. Bravo. 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 It's exquisite. It's gut-wrenching. It's so well done. It is a creation of beauty. Beauty is a difficult word to use also because the content is so hard and visceral and real and traumatic, but it's exquisitely executed. Congratulations, ladies. My name is Lebo Mashile. It's my pleasure to present to all of you the co-creators of hashtag We Are Dying Here, the film that you have just watched, courtesy of Poetry Africa. It's the first time that this film is being screened for free, publicly, to everybody in South Africa tonight. And the link is up until 10 o'clock. I'll keep reiterating that. So please share this link with as many people as possible. Get into your WhatsApp groups, get into your social media right now, because we have another 2 hours to be able to share this. I hope we'll get a little bit extra time for the discussion because we started quite late. Thank you for being patient and for bearing with us. Ladies, oh my God. Let me introduce the stellar cast of creators. Let me start with Hope Netshivhambe, who is a storyteller. Well, let me first begin by saying, all three of the creators of this film are international performers. All three of them have a creative footprint that stretches in different parts of the world and in different parts of our country, across our country. All three of them contributed to the writing of this film. So the words you hear them speaking are their own words. It's their own creation. Now let me get into the individuals. Hope Netshivhambe is, in addition to being a writer and a performer, is a champion slam poet, grew up in Venda, is coming to us tonight from Tshwane. She's trained as well as a voiceover artist, as a radio presenter, as a television presenter. And this film marks her first time acting in a theatrical production and a film. For all of the co-creators of hashtag We Are Dying Here, this is their first time working in film, and it's Hope's first time acting in theater. I commend you, Sissy. I commend you. Babalwa Makwetu is an award-winning musician, lyricist. She's won a Fleur de Cap for her soundscapes. She's been nominated for a Fleur de Cap as well for her performance. She did the soundscapes. She did all of the audio that we heard and the beautiful, breathtaking yeses, the singing that we heard. And of course, this is again her first time doing a film. Welcome to you, Babalwa, and congratulations. And of course, Siphokazi Jonas, who is the featured poet for Poetry Africa 2021. I'm sure you've heard her in the media, you've seen her, you saw her at the opening of Parliament this year, opening up the opening of Parliament as a poet. She holds a BA and a master's degree in literature from UCT. She's a writer, a theater maker, an editor, a poet, has worked extensively across South Africa, also internationally. And I think we are at the moment of watching her career, her journey break into the stratosphere. And it's so exciting to see how the three of you are working together to make this journey happen. This week has been profound because this film picked up 2 international awards at the Female Filmmakers Festival in Berlin. And before that, it was nominated for an award in Los Angeles at the Pan-African Film Festival. But this is the first time that it's winning awards, and it's won 2 during the week of Poetry Africa as it's being watched in South Africa. What does this moment mean to each of you? Who wants to go first? Somebody, jump in, jump in. Hope I see you unmuted, go.
It's really, like I said before when we were talking, before we went on, it's really like a very surreal moment. And like, you know, to see the work, I think like you do you get involved and you create this piece of work, and you see it sort of have a life of its own. And I think for me it's just definitely like humbling and exciting to see the work go to places, to countries that I haven't even been to, and to see how it's impacting people in different parts of the world. It's been exciting to watch, and it's just like when you're part of something and it gets recognition and it's like making impact and you're getting feedback, it's exciting. I'm excited to see I'm excited to see how it's sort of just spreading itself. Yeah.
It's hard to believe that this was your first time in a theatrical production. I mean, that is just incredible to me. You did such a wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you.
What has the experience of being an actress been like for you? Do you see yourself as an actress now? Is that comfortable? Is that a comfortable skin to wear? Because you wear it beautifully.
It's not entirely comfortable yet, but the experience of it has been amazing. I mean, it helps that Jonas and Babalwa, they have experience, and I feel like they sort of really helped in terms of just sort of carrying me through the experience. And so it's been wonderful to do this. It's been a learning curve for me. I think especially for me.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. It must be a huge learning curve. Babalwa, people have been, the chat has just been exploding with praise and fire flame emojis and hearts for your voice and your passion and your music. I mean, the fact that you performed in this and then also created the score, what does this award mean for you?
Yeah. I get emotional every time I'm watching this. I don't know when am I gonna get used to it, but okay. Winning an award was obviously one of the things that we never really expected, but our prayer was that the work that we created could be heard. That was always our prayer, and seeing the work now doing things, amazing things, and reaching to people, it's so fulfilling. It's so fulfilling.
You deserve it. You deserve everything that is coming. Your work is breathtaking. Which of course brings me to the woman of the moment, Siphokazi Jonas. It feels like all of the stars and the universe is coming into alignment for your ascension in this moment. Like, this week has just been phenomenal. How are you feeling? What does this win mean for you? What does this week mean for you? What does it mean that this film is being screened right now here at home?
I have a knot in my stomach, to be honest. Just all of this. We've been holding this work in, honestly, our entire lives, because we are in these bodies. But also when we started creating in 2019, out of the instinct of fear, just feeling so overwhelmed, so afraid about not feeling safe anywhere in the country, anywhere, in any space. And so to have it exist in this format means that what we share, what we've been carrying, and we ask you to carry it with us. And what's also key for me is that we actually got 5 nominations, right? So we won 2 awards, but we're nominated in the cinematography category, in best sound design, and performance. And so the fact that it actually was nominated in every category of storytelling, for me, is a powerful thing, because the 3 of us are representing probably almost 30 or more people that are in partnership with us in bringing this to life. Our director, Shane Vermooten, my co-producer, Bianca Vermooten, are both award-winning filmmakers. The DOP, award-winning. I mean, I think it was a dream project, and we came together, during COVID and all of this. So it's just a very small sort of physical acknowledgement, but for us, we've, you know, like I said, we've been carrying it and just a little piece of it. And I think also the fact that it happened in Germany means that there's something of what we have to say that's translating outside of our context. We made it for South Africa. We made it for South Africans. It's a South African story, and we're telling it our way. But we're also glad that it's translating into other spaces.
Absolutely. I mean, in lockdown, in hard lockdown last year, GBV rates all over the world went up. So it makes sense that it is resonating. It makes sense that women in America, women in Africa, women in Europe, and hopefully even women in more parts of the world will be able to connect to this message. It's necessary right now. It's connecting to our audience. I just want to share some of the comments with you. Jonathan Lefenya says, Siphokazi, Jonas, Hope Netshivhambe, Zimbini Makwetu, or Babalwa Makwetu, take a bow to the producers and the entire team who made this film possible. You should be proud. The message was received, makes it even more special, the film premiering for the public to engage with. Thank you for this incredible experience. There's so much work to be done, and this here is a testament to that. Poor fellow says, wow, I want to be like a poet like these beautiful sisters. The authentic flow is so beautiful. Mandisi Mtwetu says, oh my gosh, words fail me right now. This is an outstanding project indeed. Tembeli Feshezi says, God, I live for this. This is just crying emoji, fire, 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 fire emoji. I don't know what to do emoji. Yes, says. Sakhalo says, we are dying here is an echo of reality, meticulously presented to remind us we are dying here. Naledi Tsotsetsi says, the work you all did with this film is so spiritual and heals the soul, sees us in ways we did not know we needed seeing. Raleboha. Mangala Strider says, as a work of art, this is a masterpiece. The message leaves one spiraling in thought. We are learning. Thank you. It's been a hard year for theater makers. It's been a hard year. What are we now? Like 19, 20 months into the pandemic. It's been an exceptionally hard year for artists around the world. And in South Africa, we all know what people have been through, you know. Talk to me about the journey, which you started to speak about as Siphokazi. 2019, this was a theatrical production. 2020 begins with you guys wanting now to tour this work. This work is cooked. This work is ready. And then COVID happens. How did the partnerships come into place that made it possible for this feature to exist? Because right now, you know, the theater world is debating whether or not, you know, a film's theatrical piece is still theater, is it film? You know, a lot of these debates are burning up the airwaves in our world, in the creative world. I first saw this piece as a filmed theatrical production. And now to see the feature is such a, you know, it's such a huge leap forward, you know? So please talk to us about how the feature came about, how these partnerships came about, and what does it mean for you to have work that starts out, you know, as a, you know, you wrote a poem that became part of a theater piece. And then the theater piece becomes this feature in a lockdown. Please riff on that, each of you.
Okay, I'll jump in on the side of sort of the more technical info on how the partnerships of making the film came to be, and then, you know, Babes and Hope will share their experience. But I really want to credit, because, so here's the thing, during the time we were making this film, things were shut down. We filmed at Cape Town Film Studios. There was nothing happening. You know, in terms of the crew as well, there was no work being created. Even for filmmakers, we couldn't go into theaters. So the you know, the world as we knew it certainly was not the same. But thankfully, we were coming just on the beginning of level 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken, which means our first COVID tests were on set. So our first experience, and we had very different experiences of that test. Mine was okay. The others can share their own trauma. But actually, so even our first experience of being on a film set is one of masks and sanitizing everything and socially distancing from, you know, from your cast members as much as you can, and so on. And so that already, that sense of what filmmaking looks like is mediated through COVID and lockdown. But in terms of partnerships, it was a beautiful response. This exists because of the response of the filmmakers. Bianca and Shane reached out to me after they watched the streaming of that theater production. They said, we're moved by what you're saying, and we want to help augment what you have to say, and what our skill set is filmmaking. So how can we collaborate? We'd love to make this into a film. And we had that conversation. And what I really, really loved about our process is how collaborative it was, even with the director, because he wanted to keep the essence of what the theater production was and what the energy of spoken word and poetry is, with, and trying to fit that with what the demands of filmmaking. And so you see there's so much poetry in the visuals, from the color that has meaning, from the set, the design of Pop's Master was incredible. Every single word thought put into. So if you were to go back and watch it, watch the visuals as well and what they communicate and what each setting is. And so we would consult on between takes and think, okay, so what is this saying? And it wasn't just about, all right, is the script right? Hope would be on the roof and be thinking about, all right, what is this saying? Where are we going with the messaging? What do we want that final, that final kind of shot to be? What does that mean? And do we pull back and say, okay, he would say, go for it, go straight into camera, because we want to draw the audience in just as you do in the theater. So that has been, for me, perhaps too ideal a situation. I don't know if all directors work like that. And then finally, I think the partnership of the Kolisi Foundation and Sia and Rachel Kolisi is what made it possible, because we had generous crew who were coming in at a reduced rate, because they were so moved by the story and they wanted to be part of it as well. And so having the partnership of the foundation, which also works in advocacy around gender-based violence and the protection of children in particular. So I think everyone was just keen to be part of putting this into the world.
Shout out to Sia Kolisi Foundation. Shout out to, I just want to get all the partners right, the names of the partners right. Sia Kolisi Foundation, Optical Films, and Wrestling Dawn Arts. Thank you for making this masterpiece possible. This is incredible. Thank you to all the crew that worked for reduced rates. This is amazing. It was a labor of love, but I guess also with the fact that we were coming out of hard lockdown. GBV was on the tips of everybody's tongue. So I can imagine that even being on the set and being a part of it felt like making a contribution, like speaking to this issue with the urgency that it demands through our creativity. Congrats. Hope, when you appear on screen with that cigarette, that profile shot, my word, it's hard to believe that you've never done theater before.
Yeah,
it's very. Your writing is outstanding. All of you. I mean, but so many people were pulling quotes. So many people were pulling words. In the chat, you'll see on Facebook, people were with you, line for line. What was the process of making this film like for you?
It's right from the beginning, from when we started with the stage production. It's been a soft discomfort for me. That was the first time I'd ever been in a context where my work is being directed, and I say soft discomfort because Jonas has been very gentle and very understanding as best as she can be. And so that experience of having to get direction and be told do it this way, it was very new to me. Everything was so new, but I was open to learning. I was open to getting on this journey, and I fell in love with theater because of it. And when we transitioned from the stage production to film, again, there was this newness of things. But I came into it with an eagerness. There was a lot of nerves around oh my goodness, this is happening. We are doing a short film, you know. But it's been exciting, and I've gotten to learn so much from the whole process and from the whole journey. And it's just been like really, really beautiful to see what stories can do. And I feel like all three of us came into as all of us as bodies of stories, almost the stories coming together and joining in very beautifully, and to see how all three of us combined and how the story formed, and to just see it shape itself into this beautiful piece of art. It's been a thrill for me, and I'm excited for the work.
It's such a gift, I think, as a poet who performs your work, or somebody who practices spoken word, to be able to step back and receive direction, like to have that third eye view, on a bird's eye view on your own work, on your body, on how you disseminate it. I think it's a wonderful shift to be able to make as an artist, to realize that my work is worthy of this. My work is worthy of being directed. My work is worthy of being seen by an outside eye and staged. And yours most certainly is, all of it. I mean, in the coming together of the narratives that you speak about, it's impossible to not be rocked to the core by the music. And Babalwa, like your man, that wail, it's like the cry of the soul. It reaches deep into you. The music is a character in this. It's a sonic bed, but it stands out and adds other emotional layers and dimensions, and also roots it. Your approach to music, your voice, it roots it in South Africa, it roots it in our culture, it roots it in this space, in the Cape. Talk to us about the creation of the music for this film.
So first of all, when Siphokazi approached me, I had no idea that it was this kind of work. I was like, yay, job, okay, let's do this. We're gonna act, we're gonna sing, it's gonna be fun. And then I got into the space and it was a different case. And so when we started working, I realized that, you know what, I am trained as a performer, but I think for this one, it just needs my honesty. It just needs my soul. It just needs, it needs me to be there. It needs me to be present spiritually. So I couldn't really bring like my creativity and say, okay, I'm just going to create a nice song. It had to come from a particular space. Also because of its so talking about music, so for me, I'm not a speaker. Like I don't say a lot of things. Like I bury a lot of things inside, and the only time I get to release is when I sing, is when I write or create music. So this space, hashtag We're Dying Here, became that platform. I was like, okay, so let's just be honest, let's release, because at the end of the day, this is not a fairy tale, this is real life. Let me just say whatever it is that I need to say at this point in a musical form. And also the sounds that I got, they happened as they were busy, like sharing their poems. As I was listening, the voices in my head, they were activated. There was wailing, there was grieving, the cries, the screams, everything. It was just there. And it's always tricky now to take all of that and put it, into real life, because I only have one mouth and one voice. So it's really difficult. So I asked Siphokazi and Hope to hum for me. Then I started improvising. Even though the hum didn't come out exactly the way I heard it in my head. And so that's why in the final thing, I ended up having to back myself, because I don't have a strong backing there. So yeah, And I think what
we didn't notice. We never noticed.
No, it's because it's me now. Like I'm doing the backing, I'm doing everything. Anything that's vocal, you must just know it's me. So it's me. So that's the other exciting thing about theater, because there's a post-production. So now I can release all these voices, release and record a certain layer and add another layer. So all the layers, all the voices that I had in my head, they were now given a space to so I brought them to life. Yes.
And you did so beautifully. I want to go back into the chats because we've got some incredible comments. Naledi Tsotesi says again, this film may go far and wide to continue to heal and force change needed to protect our women and girls. Thank you for your bravery. Lindiwe Sattler Muller Westenhagen says, who's been a huge advocate of this work from the very beginning. I remember seeing her tweet about it when it was still a production in Cape Town. She says, this film may it go far and wide and continue to heal and continue to force change and heal our women and girls. Thank you for your bravery. Sorry, that was Lindiwe's comment. I read it as Naledi's comment. I apologize. Vuyolwethu Bugelwa Ntakisa says, the clips used to leave me with goosebumps. The film, I'm on the verge of tears. I feel seen, heard, represented, and activated to move through the fear and being overwhelmed. Chillingly accurate. Frank Emotions says, a huge leap forward is exactly what it is. Pearl Abuhang Nicodemus says, hashtag we are dying, quote, the beginning of a movement. Wow. Ronald Schmidt says, so impressed by what you ladies have done and the whole production. Amazingly powerful tool. Let's hope it triggers some meaningful conversations to raise awareness and initiate real change. Diane Vermooten says, I have watched this so many times, but on every occasion, I feel as though I cannot breathe. We cannot ignore the truth these three women tell with such authenticity. I am so, so, so proud of each of you. It seems like the work itself, it inspires the need for unpacking. You know, it feels like it's a natural springboard for like discussions, for workshops, for groups being able to work together on the themes that are presented in the work. You know, it's like it's a catalyst for something. It's a catalyst, a movement, change. People coming together. What do you see as the way forward for this work? Where do you want it to go?
You're spot on. I think when we're conceptualizing the production itself, we made sure that we had a Q&A after, because it needs a debrief. Material is heavy, and it may bring up some things we ourselves feel like we need to be debriefed along with the audience. And so all of the live performances we had a Q&A. And this is something we were afraid we would lose with the film, actually, because, we're not in the room. And we're thinking if someone is watching this on their own, and sometimes we'd encourage, if you can rather have a watch party or watch with some other people, because it needs community. You need space, you need breath. We would just, I think after, if I'm not mistaken, after especially the Joburg performance that we did at Joburg Theatre, we just sat in silence for a while because it was so needed. And our hope with this is to win many, many more international awards, to stream, really, to be able to have it on platforms as accessible as possible, because we want everyone to see this. We want everyone to be able to hear the story, a familiar story. One of the things that was key for me in putting the script together, once we'd written the poems and when I was thinking about how to direct it, is never to actually depict violence. I think, there's too much violence and we never ever wanted to actually show it on screen. It's suggested in the language, but we're too traumatized we never want to re-traumatize our audience. So to have it available on every possible platform where people can see it. We've already had interest from, some people who say we'd like to have it in our, in our school, We want to have this in our office, work that we do in our leadership camps. We want to, we want to screen this in our film circle, because it is about conversation, and we're looking to create some resources as well outside of it where we can help sort of guide that conversation. Any psychologists and counselors who may be watching who'd love to partner with us, please, because we want professionals to be able to guide us on how to have those conversations. And we'd still love to tour with the live production as well, one of these days.
All of it will come together. I mean, in this world of hybrids as well, it's going to be really interesting to see how the live production, the film, the conversation, how all of these kind of work together and talk to each other. We've got amazing comments from two powerhouse South African poets. Koleka Putuma says, congratulations, Siphokazi, Jonas, Hope Netshivhambe, and Babalwa. What a work. Thank you for sharing this with us. Vangile Avugile Khancho, incredible poet who also was a part of a panel, I think yesterday or today, a big friend of Poetry Africa, says, Ugufa gufana nogucha kusemzimbeni, the power of these words. And it's so true. Torsen Claire Ribka says, also another wonderful poet, says, it never ceases to be amazing. The beauty of this also is that you're touching, I mean, let's come to Hope and to Babalwa as well. All of you are artists and, award-winning artists. All of you have traveled. You've shared your work in different parts of the world. You are accomplished in your own right at different, even though you're in different places in your artistic journey. But what does it mean to create a work that resonates with people who care about GBV, people who have been affected by this issue, as much as it resonates and is getting critical acclaim from your peers and poets and artists, How does that feel?
It's, for me, I've always appreciated the moments after we've gone on stage, and even now this moment here, to hear people's feedback and to listen to what people are saying the work is doing for them and how they see things, and just a lot of people have spoken about how healing the work is, and a lot of people. A lot of men have also spoken about how much it has opened them and it has, challenged their perspective on some of these issues. When I listen to those sort of testimonials, my heart becomes really full. And another thing is what I've noticed also around the work is how this piece of work is also just creating this community of poets. Community of creatives coming together, and we are talking about these issues, and it's exciting for me to see people that that are within the poetry community and just sort of rallying around the work, and people have been super supportive, and there's been so much support from different artists, and for me that's just like, this is exciting to see how people how people recognize the importance and the urgency of the work, and it becomes not just our work as Siphokazi and Babalwa and Hope. It's not just our work, it's everybody's work. It's because I've seen how we are all holding it and how we all just have these dreams of wanting to see the work sort of travel and go into spaces and speak to other people in different parts of the world. That's, for me, it's a thrill.
That's beautiful. And for you, Babalwa, Zimbini, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, that our prayer, our everyday prayer, is that this work goes to as many people as it can reach. Personally, I just wish that we could find a way to take it to Eastern Cape, where I come from. it would mean so much to me, because I know a lot of people, they're struggling like to stream online, and you know, the access is not they don't have access to these platforms. So it would really mean so much. But with what we have achieved so far, I'm very happy where we are. And you know, as Hope says, it's beautiful to hear what people have to say about the work and the impact that it has. And yeah, for me, it's that it brings so much joy to me to know that someone somewhere in the world has found some sort of healing, or has got a chance to, you know, to look inside and acknowledge the things that they have been ignoring. Because sometimes it happens that you go through so much trauma in life and you don't even realize. But this kind of work actually opens people's eyes to acknowledge the pain, to acknowledge the trauma, to see all the things that haven't been okay in their lives. So yeah, and even for me personally, it has done that. I'm a different person now because of this work. So yeah.
That's beautiful. When the work transforms you, you know it's going to transform the audience. I mean,
Of course.
that's the test, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Lady Totesi says, I really appreciate how y'all decided not to portray violence. Angela Tandis Tembu says, tonight is the opening night for Charlotte Makwetu's play at the State Theatre. Then Poetry Africa screens #We Are Dying Here. It's clear that the universe is finally listening to woman. I have no words. I felt every word, every harmony, and every movement. This production is life. Vangile Avugile Khancho says, the honesty of this work hits hard, but I really appreciate most that this work is careful not to re-traumatize us. It is so intentionally and meticulously done that it holds us even when we watch it at home. No shock factor, no deliberate trying to make a statement, no hashtag, even though it is a hashtag, just truth. Resigned truth, and hopeful in a way. May this work live many, many, many lives. I hope so too. I look forward to the publication. I look forward to, you know, seeing, it's wonderful to see how it has evolved in different iterations. And I think that's also a lesson to poets and to artists, that even in this time of upheaval, and you know, where so many artists are so frustrated, it's great to experiment with reinterpretations and reimaginings of your work within what is possible at this time. You know, I look forward to seeing young women do these monologues. I look forward to seeing girls in school and girls in university use this in their own test materials, you know. You've created something extraordinary here, ladies, and I commend you on that. Closing comments.
Babes and Hope, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, we say this to each other all the time in the WhatsApp group. We have built a friendship and a sisterhood on the basis of this journey. And thank you to our, you know, our producer, co-producer, Bianca. Thank you to our director, Shane. Thank you to your parents as well, who really helped us out on so many things. Thank you to Cape Town Film Studios, who are associate producers. There's so many, the Khaleesi Foundation, you know, there's so many people. Thank you to the poets and the people, not that poets aren't people, poets are people, but I'm just kidding. You understand? Because of how they've shared the work without ever having seen it, you know, shared it on social media, retweeting, resharing. so we ourselves have felt like part of the community, but also even within the film community, there's really just been this positive feedback. It was important for us to make this an excellent project, because sometimes issue-based work, sometimes we get the focus is on the content, and yet we wanted to make sure that every aspect of this reflected the passion with which we approach it. And the song has already been recorded. We will be releasing the song. We will be publishing the script, so we'll keep you updated about those things. If anyone is connected to SABC, Ster-Kineko, those people, Netflix, run them all.
Yeah, fabulous.
Our DMs, yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
Closing comments, Babalwa, I hope.
Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of, because a lot of what Jonas has said is, big ups to the people that have been involved to making this possible. Like, I've never seen so many people on set. That was the first time there were so many people. And so, my mind is like just quickly going back to when we shot the film, like there was so many people. And I want to say thank you to everybody. It was a very cold evening, and it was so cold. It was incredibly cold, but it was all just wonderful, and I'm so thankful to everybody that the team was amazing, and I'm thankful to Jonas and Babalwa. You guys are beautiful, and it's been such an honor building friendship with you guys, and I think that's part of what has made this collaboration work so much, that we were able to connect in the early days of just sitting down at the park and talking about this work and bringing our stories together. And I think that was a very beautiful connection, and I think that it has played a huge impact in what the story has become. So thank you to the two of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Siphokazi, for trusting me, for trusting us, and for believing in our craft. And I'm so grateful. And also thanks to everyone for receiving the work. Not only for receiving the work, but for also seeing the vision. So yeah, I'm so grateful that this happened, and now, my gosh, we are friends, and I'm not sure about that one, but okay. And also, I'm having a conversation with Lebo, guys. Like, okay, let me just stop. Thank you so much.
I know.
That's so sweet. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful speaking to you. So tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen who are still watching, is the live performance for Poetry Africa. We will be coming to you from the Playhouse, not the Elizabeth Snedden Theatre at UKZN. As I said earlier, we'll be coming to you from the beautiful Durban Playhouse. Tickets cost $180. It's going to be my first time performing at a live poetry festival since the beginning of COVID. And tomorrow night's going to be exquisite. Of course, Siphokazi Jonas is our featured writer this year at Poetry Africa, but there's a killer lineup. The evening is called Emfuleni, women talking by the waters, because we need the waters. Lord knows we need the waters right now. Moderated by Kwezi Becker. We've got Sis Mamgcina Mhlophe, myself, Mbali, Malimela, Siphokazi Jonas, Thando Fuze, and Tony Giselle Stewart. It's going to be an incredible evening tomorrow night. Book your tickets. Playhouse, $180. Or you can tune in and watch us. It's a hybrid festival. Poetry Africa, CCA, as always, leading the way when it comes to innovation in the poetry space. My name is Lebo Mashile. It's been my absolute pleasure to moderate this discussion for you. Pumulo, hey, the Hear My Voice team. And shout out to the Hear My Voice team that has been running the technical for all of the Poetry Africa events that have taken place this week. Every single discussion, every single reading, every single launch that you have watched online on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, has been facilitated by them. Shout out to you. And they are saying that there are only 3 tickets left for tomorrow night. So please book your ticket if you want to join us live at the Playhouse. Siphokazi, Jonas, Hope Netshivhambe, Babalwa, Makwetu. It has been my pleasure and my honor to speak to you. May this project go from strength to strength to strength and reach all of the people who need to see it and inspire poets and artists to create different iterations of our work, to collaborate, to work across medium, and to make that work live in as many spaces as possible. I wish you all of the best.